together with Earle Sports Bets. Yeah, the twins, they be checking in, stacking up. Green is the scene that you're stepping in. Winning is a trend, and we stay making dollars. Nerd talk with the sports bet scholars. Yeah, it's R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies. R.I.P. to the bookies.
We are live. Welcome back to another edition of the Earle Sports Bet Show. My name is Nicholas Earle. I'm joined here as always by my brother Tim. And today, not a huge card. We get 4 games in the NBA. We get World Series Game 4. Hopefully the last game of the World Series. So we can wave baseball goodbye for right now. And then we have 7 games in the NHL. I have moved on one NBA game. I've doubled up on it too. A spot I really like. And I've moved on 2 NHL games. I doubled up on both those spots as well. So I've found a few spots I like, and I've hammered them a little bit. I don't know how to approach the baseball game yet. I kind of want to. We're going to talk that out. Kind of want to just take the series to end now, type of thing. But I could see this being the game that the Dodgers let them have. And with it being a bullpen game, if the Yankees go up early, there you go. But we'll talk about that when we get there. But we'll quickly recap yesterday. Went one right, went one wrong. And it was a weird day for me. I finished down 0.27 units, so about a quarter unit down. And my saving grace yesterday was the NBA. Went 5-1 in the NBA yesterday. Started it off with the Washington Wizards team total over 113.5. And the full game over 234.5, and the Wizards won outright 121 to 119. Fading the Hawks continues to be a very, very good thing. My only loss of the night was Denver -9. I thought that was a good spot for them. I was wrong. It is what it is. Houston Rockets -2.5 winner there. They were up big, and they made us sweat a little bit there by basically forgetting to play a second half. But they held on there. And then ended the night with 2 winners when I woke up this morning because those games went later into the night. The Sacramento Kings beat the Portland Trailblazers 111 to 98, so they won by I won both those by the hook. They win by 13, cash Sacramento -12.5. And the Suns came roaring back with an 11-point fourth quarter win, and they won that game 109 to 105. So they won by 4, cash the -3.5. So there we go. Cash those 2 at the end of the night, which was nice because my 2 late hockey games lost. So hockey went 1-3 yesterday, but only down a unit because the Columbus Blue Jackets as 2-1 dogs, winning 6-1. Buffalo Sabres lost. I took a shot there. I like what their advanced analytics, and I'm going to continue to take shots with Sabres as dogs. It's just the way it's going to be. I'm going to lose some, yes, but I am going to take shots with them there. And then my 2 late dogs were no good. Calgary loses 5-0 to Vegas. That was pretty bad. And the Hurricanes win in overtime against the Vancouver Canucks, as the Canucks tied it with 2 goals in the third just to lose in overtime there. So there was that there. And then I lost every other play that I made. Giants +6. They had a chance to backdoor cover at the end there. They missed a 2-point conversion, which would have pushed, which was annoying. So just overall, they lost by 8 in that game. I had the +6. That sucked. And then the double up on the Yankees was wrong. You would think a desperate team with their backs up against the wall and needing a win, first game back at home would show some type of life. No, they get shut out in the first 5. They lose 4-2. The only runs that they scored in that game, 2 outs in the bottom of the ninth, a 2-run home run by Alex Verdugo. They saved to kill the shutout. That was the only runs they scored in that entire game. So we'll see how that goes later or tonight when we have Game 4. The Dodgers are going to win the World Series. It's just how many games at this point.
Man, MLB, are you sure that's what you wanted?
Yeah.
I know you guys, and I don't know if you saw the stats, but I know they brought big into the Judge versus Ohtani and everything.
They've been both terrible.
I think the combined they have 2 hits and like 1 million strikeouts. So some MVPs right there, Nick. But I forgot to bet that game last night because I know I was in between and I bet it. I forgot to put it up on my CapperTek, I should say. We'll start off with the NBA. NBA was good for me. I was told that the Indiana Pacers had no chance of covering. They did. Cavaliers money line, nice winner there. The Nuggets game under the total went to overtime. Wouldn't have mattered. It went over in regulation. Bucks lost that one by a point. They lose by 11. I had plus 10. But the Houston Rockets minus 2.5 was a nice winner. And the Phoenix Suns at the end of the night was a nice winner. So 4-2 there. How about some hockey, Nick? Because hockey has been. I just put myself into the positive last night with hockey.
You're in the black, nice.
Sabres were a loser. It is what it is. How about them Columbus Blue Jackets plus 212? Nice, never in doubt winner. Apparently, Nick, I was only allowed to win big plus money yesterday because the Nashville Predators plus 118 was a loser. But how about the Maple Leafs on the puck line plus 235?
I mean, I like your crazy tactics with hockey. It's funny to watch.
Nice winner there. I'm going to save them for last because, yeah. Chicago Blackhawks. Nice. How about some of that Blackhawk cock? Plus 191 money line winner. Of course, the Canes blow a 3-1 lead to force overtime. My Canes puck line was a loser, plus 202.
I lost the Canucks on that one. We both lost that game.
Vegas puck line, plus 133 was a winner. And to the best hockey game of last night. Wow. How about them Sharks? Plus 225 on the money line. Never in doubt. I'm joking. Weren't they down 4-1 in that game? And they come roaring all the way back. What did the announcers say? The miracle in Utah. As they scored 3 goals in the third and win it in overtime. I will say I watched overtime. Yeah. Because I clicked on ESPN. I'm like, oh, let me see. Oh, it's an overtime. And then a power play. I'm like, oh. And about 2 seconds since the power play scored.
You know what game that kind of reminds? Because the Sharks did this last year as well.
Didn't they do it against like Detroit?
Yeah,
on our birthday. Yeah.
Yes, it was Detroit on our birthday, and they were down. I think it was 4-1 in that game. So I'm gonna go back and look at that because that's the game it reminded me of. That was a 6-5 overtime win for the Sharks. It was 0-0 at the end of the first period, 4-0 Red Wings, and at the end of the start the second period, 4 straight goals by the Red Wings, and then 4 goals by the Sharks. So it was 4-0, then 4-4, and then 1-1 in the third.
Yeah, so love to see it. But now I'm back in the black, and I'm gonna pull it up real quick, just so you guys can see how stupid my hockey is. I'm 34-57. I'm profitable.
Average lines.
It has to be at least 160 at this point.
Yeah,
but I figure, hockey's been a lot of fun. Let's head to the chat and by the way, I had the under in the Monday Night Football game. Did not work out well. By the way, I checked Earls versus Girls. Sydney and Destiny both had 4-1 weeks.
Yes, they did.
Yeah,
I went 3-2.
I went 2-3. So they keep building a lead over us. Anyways, what up, my guys? Let's get us, guys. Hit the like button, people. Show some appreciation, subscribe, and share. Timmy, you know the rest of the same. My dog. Yes. Only a little NBA. Sad day, but can still find some value. Can't wait for tomorrow's slate.
I actually really like this NBA card. Number one, I like the smaller card, so it's less.
I wish I bet it last night. I'm annoyed.
What?
Nets are down to a 4.5.
That's not the game I doubled up on.
I'm on the Nets. I took them in the free pick. I just never put them up on CapperTek last night. So
what were they last night?
6.5.
Ooh. Yeah, that might be one of those where I just let it go now.
I feel like I still have to take it, but Yeah, I'm probably still going to take it. But anyways, Raptors suck. Had Denver down double digits just to let them come back and lose.
The Raptors are going to suck this year. They're going to lose games like that.
He just hates the Nuggets for whatever reason because I like them. I took all the points last night, and Pittsburgh minus, they covered, never in doubt. Oh, in the NFL. There you go. Indy +7, good. Detroit +8.5, good. Chicago +7.5, outright winner. Washington plus, outright winner. Toronto plus, winner. Cleveland plus, winner. When they went outright, thank you, Tim, on that one. Rockets money line, Fakers +4 push, and the Jazz +11 push. So good night for Marcos. There you go. All good but bad. Portland +12, lose by 13. Milwaukee +10, lose by 11. If it wasn't for my two team, I'd be famous. Killed my parlay. All for Portland and Milwaukee. Yeah, that was rough. That Milwaukee game was rough. Yeah. Lots of unders last night. Majority of points and unders were played last night on the NBA. I was feeling all the points except Spurs. But the total, I was thinking mainly overs because no cigar. Postman, no cigar.
Yeah, I think I was on one of the only game I had the over in one of the only games that did go over last night, and that was the Washington game.
There you go. Canucks, loser. Jets, loser. Sabres, loser. Paterka point, good. Thompson point, good. Jackets team total over. The Leafs under the total. Flames under the total. 4-4 in hockey. Westbrook ladders. Hold on. Westbrook over points, winner. Over assist, loser. Over boards, winner. The under in the game, loser. Nuggets second quarter, loser. Pacers team total under, loser. Bucks +9.5, loser. Cavs money line. Rockets money line, all winners. Wizards team total over, winner. Wizards versus Hawks over, winner. Bronny under 1.5 point voided because he didn't play in the game.
Wow, it's almost like he shouldn't have been drafted.
Giants money line. Giants +6. Russell Wilson over an interception. 0-3 in the NFL. 9-12 altogether yesterday. Let's have a bounce back day today. Let's do it. Tuesday is totally super.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
I feel like the fucking man yesterday. 8-1. Florida over. Edmonton over. Bolts money line. Jets money line. Jets team total over. Sharks and the over. Avalanche and Canes money line. There you go. Dodgers sweep. That would be freaking beautiful.
How hilarious would that be if if Major League Baseball got their wet dream World Series and it lasted 4 games?
Suppness. Ilya Sorokin is 4-0, 1.75 goals against, 943 save percentage versus the Anaheim Ducks. How should we approach this Isles game? Quack.
I don't know yet.
How about a draw?
That wouldn't shock me. Maybe an Isles team total over because Anaheim's defense has been terrible.
Kind of want to take the Ducks.
I would not.
Sharks.
I think if you want the Ducks, you take their puck line +1.5 because I can see it going to overtime.
No, it's -125. I don't lay minus money in hockey.
Yeah.
Yes. By the way, yes, Sharks. Hell yeah, Sharks. Morning, everyone. Went 5-2-1 yesterday. There you go. Who's gonna win, Ottawa or the Blues?
That's a tricky game. I didn't bet that one yet. We'll get into that one a little bit deeper. My numbers suggest some value on the Blues though, so we'll see.
Morning only went with Najee over 110 yards, and my boy, they better stop sleeping on Clay. It's good that Klay Thompson's actually on a good team now. Cooking some turkey kibasi with scrambled. Damn it! Now I'm hungry, dude. You want to do breakfast? Anyways, are the Penguins really gonna go from a dog to a fave versus the Wild?
I think that would be the incorrect line movement. I think it's a bad spot for the Penguins. Even like I get it. I've been betting the same thing, but like they're coming back from a West Coast road trip.
That one's a tricky one. I have a feeling I'm gonna be on the Wild puck line, but
you already, if you guys have watched NHL this season with me, you know exactly what I've bet in that game. That's one of the games I've already doubled up on.
I'm really intrigued. The thing is, if the Penguins were like plus 120, plus 130 or something, I would have looked towards them. They're even money. That's not enough for me. I would probably go wild puck line.
Yeah, I can see that.
Down 400 because I keep taking my Yanks. Start spreading the news. Anyways, finally hit the Sharks. Hit every NHL game but Flames. I'm not going to bet NBA or NFL for a while. Dodgers sweep. I sure hope so. I like the over on the Wild Penguins game. Yes. McDavid got injured 30 seconds in and had to leave the game. Yeah, I did not cap for that, but I don't think it really mattered all that much. At least the Mets can say they would have destroyed the Yanks.
See, here's the thing, and I think this is just reality hitting. That the National League this year was significantly better than the American League. The Yankees were the number one team in the American League. I'm not going to argue that. I'm not going to say anything against that. But with that being said, if they were in the National League, I think they would have been the sixth best team. I would take the Mets over them. I'd take the Dodgers over them, the Phillies, the Padres, and the Brewers, and fully healthy the Braves. So 6 or 7, depending on.
I would say, if Baltimore beat Kansas City
or Houston beat Detroit.
I was gonna say if Baltimore beat Kansas City or Houston beat Detroit and made the ALCS, the Yankees would not be in the World Series. If the Yankees actually had to go through Baltimore and Houston instead of Kansas City and Cleveland, I think there's a lot stronger of a chance that they don't even make it out of the DS.
We'd be talking about a rematch of 2017 right now between the Dodgers and the Astros.
Or we'd be seeing the Baltimore Orioles in the World Series.
Yeah.
That's my kind of thought process on it is the Yankees only made the World Series because of their very easy route to the World Series.
Now, they did beat the teams that were in front of them.
I'm not saying they did, but once they played a real team, look what's happening.
But their run wasn't the Milwaukee Brewers, Philadelphia Phillies, and Los Angeles Dodgers.
Yeah. I just parlayed the Wild and the over.
Yep.
There you go. I'm on the Sharks again tonight. Maybe that could be how I approach this game. Wild in the over instead of laying the puck line. I'm on the Sharks again tonight. We know how this works. You know what, dude? I'm sold. I'm on the Sharks again tonight. Let's go. I like the Pens money line tonight. I was looking at Sharks plus 1.5. Nope, it's minus 115. I only bet plus money.
You can definitely mark me safe from laying minus 280 on the road with the Kings.
Not surprised. Classic Coyotes. Oh, by the way, didn't San Jose just play the Kings?
Yes, and the Kings.
They lost 3-2.
Yeah, that was the first game at Crypto.com Arena.
Yeah. Kraken minus 182. Now big line movement. We'll talk about them against Montreal in a little bit. What's up, Nicholas Handy? Hey, Marcos. Good day, fellas. Dodgers first half team total over. NBA was good. Only mistake I made, I jumped on the over 49 when the Giants had the ball. Then he got picked.
Yeah.
Did the Raptors lose? LOL. I didn't pay any attention after I saw the Raptors up 12 in the fourth. Yes, the Raptors did lose. The Nuggets won in overtime, but that was still not convincing. Wizards beat the Hawks. Grizzlies lost. Sad. Keep in mind, still very early in the season. A lot of these games aren't really indicative of what the teams are going to look like.
No.
Morning, gentlemen. Morning, untouchable. Blue Jackets money line first period. Love it. Fade the state of Utah was never in doubt. Sharks and Mavs.
That's great.
What's up? You got the live Suns. There you go. When fans thought Connor got a hat trick, 1 or 2 hats hit the ice. When Tavares got a hattie, at least 50 hit the ice. Jets fans are lame. Go Leafs, go. Chance overpowered that room. I did not watch that, but that sounds awesome. Post the card after the show, please. Yes. Wild overrated. October hockey is scam hockey. That's bold. Okay. Yes, but the Penguins are bad. Islanders draw plus 350. Lock it in. I might take the Ducks in the draw.
Draw Island Thailanders. I understand that.
Kaprizov is overrated. Has multi-points in 3 games in a row.
He didn't say Kaprizov. He said the Wild.
Yeah, Kaprizov he's okay.
He's a decent player.
Detroit should be the AL champs. Would have been way more interesting series. The Yanks have 2 bats, and that's a worry about. Pitch around Soto and Stanton, and it's over.
So almost like Severino's right earlier in the year, except for he was referencing Soto and Judge.
Except for Judge has been incomplete. I would say, I don't think Detroit would have been more competitive in the series.
No, I think Detroit could have gotten swept against the Yankees. Like, I think no matter who the Yankees played in the American League, if they came out of the Central, they were going to beat them. I think the only teams that would have challenged the Yankees were the Astros and the Orioles. I'm not discrediting the Yankees at all.
No.
Like, don't twist it there. However, the National League was significantly better this year.
It was. But in terms of Detroit, I don't think Detroit had enough offense.
Yeah. Plus, also, one last thing with the National League point there on why they were so much better. The team that scored the most runs in baseball this year
didn't make the playoffs. The team that allowed the least amount didn't make it either.
Yeah.
Seattle didn't make the playoffs, neither did Arizona.
But when you have an offense like that and you miss the playoffs, that's kind of telling as well.
Anyways, yeah. AL sucks. The Yankees suck. Let's go Mets. I split half my bet with Wild, and so minus Wild
minus one. That's not a bad look.
Orioles still waiting on that return for Trevor Rogers.
See, don't judge the Trevor Rogers trade yet.
I think that's more of a future trade.
That was more of a investment trade because Connor Norby and Kyle Stowers were excess goods for them, and this allows them to develop Trevor Rogers a little bit more because they weren't expecting him to flip around just because he's on Baltimore for the second half of the year because he wasn't good in the first half of the year. The Baltimore Orioles saw something in him, and they sent him down to Norfolk for a reason, to get certain things right. I think when he comes back to Baltimore, he will be a bet-on pitcher.
Capitals in the under? I was kind of looking Caps tonight.
I've doubled up on that game. We'll talk about that in a little bit. I'm on the opposite side.
I miss when we used to have the scroller. That was cool. But we still have the CapperTek where if you follow us on CapperTek, you get week's worth of play and it updates you, I believe, when you post plays. So I like the under if it's Dostal and Sorokin.
Yeah.
Royal Blue versus Dodger Blue. It would be a snooze fest.
I think the Dodgers would have swept the Royals.
Honestly, I don't really think it mattered between Dodgers, Mets, Phillies, Padres. Any of those teams made the World Series. Any of those teams would have won the World Series.
Yeah, I think they would have. Yeah,
I wouldn't throw the Brewers in there, but
yeah. And the Dodgers may sweep the World Series. The Mets probably would have won in like 6. The Padres maybe in 6. And the Phillies in 7 type of thing.
No, I think the Phillies would have been 5.
Phillies would have been 5?
Phillies, Dodgers would have been 4 or 5. Mets, Padres 6. You could also make an argument for Padres in 5.
Yeah, I like that.
And the NL is just that much significantly better. But
we'll see what happens.
Capitals revenge spot. So far, every playoff revenge has lost.
I don't give a fuck about playoff revenge spots
anymore. Not to mention, they didn't play
actually
again.
In hockey. I don't. We'll talk about that here in a couple of games.
The Capitals are 5-2 this year.
Yeah, I think the Capitals winning and I will break. I'll get into this a little. I think them starting off so well will be really nice for us trying to go ahead and bet against them now.
Let's start off with some NBA though.
Yeah, let's get into it. The Denver Nuggets. I almost said Broncos there against the Brooklyn Nets. Nuggets -5 total of 218 in this game. Line opened up at a 6.5, down to a 5. Line opened up at a 219, down to a 218.5. So we do a move towards the Nets, and we have a move towards the over in this game here. 94% of tickets, 95% cash on the over. The line's moving towards it. 68% of tickets and 71% of cash is on the Nuggets, and the line's moving against them here. We have the Nuggets. They are 1-2 now on the season. They're 0-3 ATS. They've yet to cover a number. They've been favorites in all 3 games. They had to go to overtime last night against the Toronto Raptors and now travel across the border to play the Nets on a back-to-back. I don't like this situational spot for the Nuggets here in this one. On the flip side, Though, do I want to back the Nets off of a really nice underdog win? Their last game was on the 27th, day off yesterday, but previous to that, they beat the Bucks 115-102 as 8.5-point dogs. Do I want to back the Nets off of a win? A team that I don't expect to stretch winning streaks together over the season. And the Nets, though, they're 1-2, but they're 2-1 ATS. They've covered twice as dogs. They were 7-point dogs. They lost by 4 against the Atlanta Hawks. And then they didn't cover as 11.5-point dogs against the Orlando Magic. They lost by 15 in that game. For me, this is pretty simply Nets or nothing. But if I enter this slate and leave the slate with just the double up that I have that we'll talk about next game, I'll be okay. But for me, I'm only taking the points here in this one.
I'm on the Nets. And I hope this can go and show that you can bet against your own team. I will say I felt a little bit more confident with this one at the 6.5 when I did the free pick last night. I just blanked and didn't put my plays up on CapperTek at the time. And I got 4.5 now. I still think this is like a buzzer beater type game. Nuggets coming off of an overtime game, having to travel from Toronto to Brooklyn. Lines moving in Brooklyn's direction. I honestly could see a very realistic spot where the Nuggets lose this game again.
Yeah.
Nuggets have not looked good shooting, although last game they looked a little bit better. Keep in mind, and I want to just Nikola Jokic is still Nikola Jokic. Like he is still doing his thing. He got a triple-double in the first game, 40 points in the second game, 40 points in the third game. He's averaging 32.3 points a game already for the first 3. It's getting contributions from everybody else. And that's kind of the concerning factor. Murray's going off for 17. That's fine. But when your third highest scoring player is Christian Braun, which is averaging a little less than 15 points a game, something needs to change. They need more from Gordon. They need more from Porter and the bench. Westbrook, Strother are going to need to come through. It's still a very young season. I don't really put much stock into these games at all.
No, you can't put much stock into the first month of the season.
I'm going to be on the Nets tonight. I got them at 4.5.
Yeah, that'd be the only way I would look there. But not if I'm getting probably not getting involved there.
If the White Sox made it, Dodgers would have gotten swept.
Ooh, yeah, okay. I think that was the one team that would match up well against the Dodgers. We'd get plus 380 every single game with the White Sox.
Westbrook overs again, run it back. Go for it. Chicken Nuggets. Nets. I'm on the Nets. Live bet the Nets if Denver is up as well. Nets in the over.
I think this is a spot where potentially with the Nuggets being on the second half of a back-to-back, if you waited to maybe the end of the first quarter, you might be able to get 7.5, 8, 9, 9.5 points with the Nets if the Denver Nuggets get off to a strong start. I could see that as a possibility as well, is you live bet the Nets getting a bigger number. So,
not a bad option.
We'll get into this matchup here. This is the one I had circled. This is the one I bet. I doubled up on this game as well. Let's get into it here. The Minnesota Timberwolves and the Dallas Mavericks. The T-Wolves now a 5-point favorite in this game with a total of 222.5. This total opened up at a 226.5 down to a 222.5, so this line's dropped. And this line opened up at a 3.5. It's now a 5. So we have a 1.5-point line movement towards the Minnesota Timberwolves and a 4-point movement towards the under in this game. We have 83% of tickets, 84% of cash is on the over. Line's dropping. So the under does appeal a little bit here. We have 72% of the tickets and 69% of the cash. Nice. It's on the Mavericks, yet this line's gone from 3.5 to 5. So we have a little bit of a public dog spot here in this one with the Mavericks on a second half of a back-to-back against a rested Timberwolves team playing at home. Dallas played last night. They won 110 to 102. They didn't cover as 12-point favorites against the Utah Jazz. And now they have to head to Minnesota, which I meant when I forgot who commented about the Capitals' revenge spot for the playoffs. I said I didn't really care about playoff revenge when it came to the NHL there. I think this one's a little bit more. I think the NBA, they take that playoff revenge a little bit more personal, I think, than the NHL does. And what did we last see from the Minnesota Timberwolves? It got bounced in 5 games against this Mavericks team. And the Mavericks were basically dogs the entire series. So I am on the Minnesota Timberwolves here. I doubled up on them. First half -3, full game -4.5 is what I got. This is probably my favorite spot on the card for the NBA today. I don't know if I'm going to get involved with the other 2 games. I know for sure though most likely the only NBA game that will get my attention tonight is Dallas and Minnesota.
I'm on Minnesota as well. I took those 2 games, and honestly, I didn't even bet the last 2. I know you can run that angle. Dallas is on a back-to-back. Now, and I know you like the revenge angle. Minnesota was also coming off of their championship series, beating the Nuggets. That was them winning the finals last year. Was beating the Nuggets in the second round. But I look at this one. Yes, Dallas is a good team, and they're going to be solid. Obviously these games really don't matter as much. They still matter. I'm not saying that they don't, but these games don't get taken as seriously in the beginning of the year. I am on Minnesota. I'll take a -5. I think they win by double digits.
Sure. Ooh, I just saw something for the NHL card later. That'll be fun to bring up.
NBA right now. Pick the opposite of what you say.
Pick the opposite of what you think.
Of what you think. Okay, yeah. I'm on the under. Dallas, best road team last year. Okay. Reverse psychology. There you go. T-Wolves in the under. Anthony Edwards points. Edwards over points. Wolves -5. How am I doubling up on it? There you go. Let's go. Those 2 people in APT. So tennis. There you go. I really want to fade the state of Minnesota. Mavericks and Pens, but I'm passing. I feel that. Did you see the sports equinox that faded the state of New York? Took the Steelers, took the Panthers, took the Dodgers, and took the Cavaliers, and it won.
Wow.
Let's keep rolling through.
Yeah, Utah Jazz and Sacramento Kings. The Kings are our second half of back-to-back. Now they travel to altitude in Utah. Let's take a look here at the line history in this one here, where we have the Sacramento Kings opened up as 5-point favorites. It's now a 6.5. Wow. I did not expect the line to move in that direction. I thought it was going to move towards the Jazz, personally. Line opened up 235.5, down to a 235 in this game. Let's take a look at the cash flow, where we have 65% of tickets and 70% of cash on the Kings. So I guess the line move makes sense then. And then we have 40% of the tickets and 50% of the cash on the under. With the line, what did they do for the total? I moved half point towards the under in this game here. Utah is 0-3 this year, but they're 2-1 ATS. The only game they didn't cover, they got whooped by 41 as 6.5-point favorites against the Golden State Warriors. I should have taken the points with them yesterday with the Mavericks after a 40-point loss. I think I should start doing that. It's just whenever you lose by 30 plus, I'm just going to blindly bet you the next game. And I think the ROI would be pretty strong on that. On the flip side, the Sacramento Kings are coming off a back-to-back. Depending on the line you got, you either won or push with them as 12.5 or 13-point favorites. That was their first win of the year. They desperately needed the win, and they got a Portland team that they were able to beat after playing Minnesota and LA to start the year. I have no interest in this game. I was planning on trying to bet the Utah Jazz, but the market's going to keep me off of it a little bit here, and I'm not. As you can see, we're a week into the NBA, and I've only made 26 bets. So I mean, I'm not going to force action in the NBA.
Neither am I. I'll have a lot more action come middle of the season, end of the season.
Yeah, playoff time. I'll probably
not to mention I'll probably end up getting into player props sometime throughout the season too.
I won't. I promise you that one.
I'll about
I don't follow the NBA
probably
players
about
enough.
end of December, early January, or probably after March Madness, most likely. I'll end up getting into player props for both the NBA and the NHL. So, but no, I'm not going after this game. Same deal with the next game. Both these two teams are coming off of back-to-backs. Not really any spot I need to go after, especially going after the Kings as 6.5-point favorites, and then having to travel from Sacramento to Utah, have to play in the altitude. Utah was at Dallas, had to come home. Now that although they're more adjusted to the altitude, it would be Jazz or nothing. I'm going to go with nothing.
Yeah, no, I don't feel the need to go ahead and bet the Jazz tonight.
Utah cover, pass. Utah was the best home against the spread team last year.
That doesn't surprise me.
It does not. Did you say you're taking off? You're taking teams off a 40-point loss, but didn't because both teams had previously lost games.
Yeah, because the Dallas Mavericks, I think, lost. No, I didn't. I did not take the Jazz because the Mavericks were off of a double-digit loss as well. Granted, it wasn't a 30-point loss, but they lost by 12 to the Suns, so that's why I stayed off that spot.
There you go. My Jazz are almost like the Sharks of hockey. Big payday when it's coming. Fair. Both Kings teams should win. Doesn't mean they're going to. Pass Utah plus 6.5. Kings back-to-back and playing altitude. Both teams are on back-to-back. Both teams are heading up to the altitude. Let's go to this game.
Yeah, we have the New Orleans Pelicans and the Golden State Warriors. This line really jumped out to me, Tim. The Warriors are dogs.
Warriors are not the same team as they've been.
I'm aware, but okay. Line opened up at a 2. It's down to a 1.5. So we do have a move towards these Warriors in this game. Line opened up 217.5 down to a 217. So a half-point line movement towards the under here. In this one, 44% of tickets, 54% of cash on the spread for the Pelicans, but 44% of tickets, 52% of cash is on the money line for the Warriors. So depending on the number you got, the line, or depending on which are you betting the spread or the money line, the sharp money's at either direction. This line opened up money line wise because this is a short spread. I'll open up at a minus 145 for the Pelicans. Got all the way up to a 155. It's now a 121. So it looks like the Warriors are a little bit of sharp action in this game, which is really surprising. The Warriors, they won their first 2 games. Okay, maybe this could be a little bit of a Warriors bounce back spot. They won by 36 and 41 their first 2 games, and then they follow that up by losing as 9-point favorites by 8 points to the LA Clippers, which the Clippers have won a couple games as nice dogs this year so far. They've covered, I believe, every game of the Clippers, if I remember right.
I don't.
Yeah,
remember.
they have because they cover as 5-point dogs against Phoenix as well. And then on the flip side, New Orleans, they're coming in off of back-to-back games against Portland. They did get blown out in their last game against Portland, 125 to 103. So is that a spot that I would like to fade the Pelicans in? Not particularly. I guess this is Warriors or nothing for me, but it is not a game I'm getting involved with.
No, I don't feel the need to as well. Same kind of deal. Just you don't have to go after everything, and I'm not. So I'm just gonna stick with the Nets and the T-Wolves in this one.
Yeah, I'm just gonna ride with the T-Wolves today, and that's it.
Pelicans money line. Warriors. Buddy Hield. Curry gonna score 40 points. Back Warriors at home. Fade on the road. Fly Pelicans fly. Warriors team total under. Even Wiggins is questionable. That makes sense then. We'll go from the hardwood to
The Diamond.
Game
4 of the World Series. Here are the Dodgers on top 3-0. Yankees minus 145 favorites, total of 8.5 in this game. Let me switch over to baseball. This is a bullpen game for the Dodgers, which we've seen them do pretty well in bullpen games. I believe they're 2-1 this postseason. The only one they didn't win was Game 2 against the Mets, and that was because they gave up a couple runs early, and then they went
Game
to
5.
Game
5 was also a bullpen game.
No, it wasn't. Game 5.
Flaherty, never
It
mind.
was Flaherty. Game 4. Game 6 was the bullpen game. Line opened up at a 142. It's still a 142. Line opened up at an 8.5 at -110. It's still there. Let's take a look at the cash flow in this game here. See if this will kind of shed a light. 57% of the tickets and 68% of cash on the Yankees because there's no way they get swept. The line's not moving. 46% of tickets and 51% of cash is on the over in this one as well. So a little bit of a sharp over, it looks like here in this one. Line not really moving, but I could see runs in this game. The Yankees are coming in off of basically getting shut out in that first game, in game 3 there, if it wasn't for a 2-out, 2-strike, 2-run home run from Alex Verdugo. And for me in this game, I kind of want to just put the nail in the coffin, and just I just want to take the Dodgers here to complete the sweep here, which I saw an interesting video and testing people's memory. You know the last team in the World Series to get swept?
The Colorado Rockies.
Nope. There was one more recent than the 2007 Rockies against the Red Sox to get swept in the World Series.
Who?
Be the 2012 Detroit Tigers against the San Francisco
That
Tigers.
makes sense.
Yeah. So for me, if I'm moving on this game, it's Dodgers money line, team total over type of move here. I got to decide how I want to approach this, though. I kind of want to just take the team total over, ask them to score 4 runs against Luis Gil. But I can see this game as the Yankees throw their A bullpen because they have no other choice. And the Dodgers, if they fall behind early in this game, they may punt it. But that doesn't mean they won't score runs. So I think that's the way I'm going to approach this game here. This may be my final MLB play of the year. It's the Dodgers team total over 3.5 at -135.
Okay. I'm going to stick with this game. This is going to end in 4. And I'm going to take the Dodgers again. This has been a fun MLB baseball season that ended in a ugly fashion. I'm sorry. Hey, MLB, you guys messed up. But I will say, at least we get to see the Yankees lose in the World Series. I have nothing really that I need to get involved with this one. So, besides I did take the Dodgers, but other than that, good riddance MLB. Hopefully next year is better for actually watching.
Yeah, I mean, it was a very profitable MLB year. I enjoyed it. We could very well be coming back tomorrow and talking about Game 5, but
we could.
We'll see.
Warriors team total over. Dodger bullpen is not something you want to fade. Only thing that scares me is a little bit as Phillips out.
See, the one thing that worries me is if the Yankees get to the Dodgers early and then they just basically like throw Honeywell in there for 3 innings and then Vesia and stuff like that, where basically you can kind of tell, kind of like Game 2 against the Mets after they fell behind by a few runs, they punted it, knowing that they can throw out Flaherty in Game 5 and then probably get a good performance out of him there. The Dodgers know they have flexibility and they don't have to win this game tonight. They obviously want to, but they will be A-okay if they don't win this game tonight. So that's why I went more with the team total over, because even if they fall behind and punt, who's to say that they can't put up 4 runs? They've done it every single game in this series, and I think they did it in every game during the Mets series as well. Other than Game 2, they put up 3. So they've done it basically every single game against New York, other than Game 2 against in that 7-3 loss.
There you go. As long as they don't use Knack, they should be good.
Yeah.
LA Dodgers moneyline nuke. Yerfy. Is Boone going to adjust the lineup? Yeah, he's going to put Juan Soto at every position. Brooklyn Dodgers or over. Running back with Dodgers. Yankees first 5. Who's pitching for the Dodgers? Bullpen game. MLB needs a cap salary like hockey. No, they need a cap floor.
They need a salary floor.
Salary floor.
Because keep in mind, all of Major League Baseball owners are billionaires. Spend some fucking money.
There you go. Are you twins? Yes, we're twins. Freeman gets a home run today. He breaks the record for the most consecutive home runs in the World Series.
I think Freddie Freeman's the World Series MVP, and it's not even a discussion.
He's minus 3,000 right now. Or minus 900 right now.
At least it's not Ohtani.
I know, right? That's great. Well, it's because Ohtani got injured. But super teams aren't fair.
Spend money then.
Yeah.
I don't want to hear the bullshit excuse that they're a small market team. Owners are billionaires. If you don't want to spend money, sell the team to another billionaire that will spend money.
Yeah. The Yankees getting the broom taken out on them will be the funniest thing that's ever happened in the World Series. Yeah. You are, yes. 446, where are you? I know. The Yankees are in danger of getting swept, and he's nowhere to be found. So there you go. Funny how Americans praise capitalism, but in sports demand socialism. We're not going to get into that stuff. Let's head into hockey instead.
Yeah. Let's get into. Let's flip to that. And I need to get better in hockey here. It's been a little bit of a rough patch, but let's get into it. We have the Ottawa Senators and the St. Louis Blues. Sens minus 145 favorites with a total of 6.5 in this game. Let's take a look at the line history, or not the line history in this one. Let's take a look at what these two teams have done. Let's take a look at goaltenders for this one here. Unconfirmed, Joel Hofer and Linus Ullmark. Hofer is 3-0 as it starts with a 2.31 goals allowed average and 932 save percentage with a shutout. Linus Ullmark 1-2, 3.33 goals allowed average, 885 save percentage. Let me hit refresh to see if we have Linus Ullmark is confirmed. Okay, we have confirmed there, but no confirmation on Hofer yet. The Blues are 5-4 this year. They're off to a decent start. They did lose their last game 5-2. I said, where do you want the Blues? Or how do you want the Blues? You want them as underdogs. You don't want them as favorites. And they lose as minus 120 road favorites against the Montreal Canadiens. On the flip side, the Ottawa Senators are coming in off of their little bit of a West Coast trip where they went to Utah, Vegas, and Colorado. They won against Utah, then they lost the next two against Vegas and Colorado. And my numbers suggest there is value on the St. Louis Blues here in this spot. I have this game probably closer towards a pick 'em in this spot. I don't think the Sens should be laying this type of number. And I'm kind of interested in getting involved with the Blues here in this spot. I honestly don't care who's in net, whether it's Hofer or it's Binnington. I think plus 140 is too wide of a line. Now this is minus 165 for the Senators. I think that's too much here. I'm going to go ahead and grab the Blues at plus 140.
Well, I'm pulling up hockey now. I will say I'm probably not going to be betting every single game. I normally try. I mean, last night I did, and it worked out nicely for me. But I wanted to try to go after something in this game. Ottawa's not really a team that I necessarily want to trust. They're coming off of 2 straight losses. This is actually their first game back home after a out west road trip where they played Utah, Vegas, and Colorado. St. Louis are currently on a road trip. They've got Ottawa, and then they got Philly next after playing Montreal and Toronto. I feel like St. Louis could be a little bit of a live dog, but I'm not anything I really feel like I need to get involved with. I have some other plays that I want to go after today. Couple of dogs, maybe a puck line or two, but maybe, you know what? I might not be taking any puck lines today besides Minnesota, but I'm not going to go after anything crazy. I'm going to be going after a bunch of dogs today, but not this one yet.
Sure.
How is FIU 9-point favorites? Both teams are dumpster fires.
I got 10 with the Aggies in that game. I took New Mexico State. That's my only college football play today. I got 10 with them.
There you go. Over 6. You know the drill. Blues money line.
Yeah, I'm on the Blues.
Sens coming home from road trip loss is something I don't fade. I fade coming home after a win. Sens team total over. Barberg, anytime point. Neighbors, anytime goal. Holloway, plus 500. Going for something big, plus money like Tim. I don't hate it. I'm not taking the Sens money line. I do think they score a lot of goals.
Fair. That's fair. And that's a better way than laying $1.60 there.
I like the over here and the Blues, but I don't like how they went from plus 126 to plus 136.
I don't care about the markets in the National Hockey League. I don't, personally.
I might take a shot in this one.
Yeah, this is a game where I only want one side, but I don't really want to back them. Let's get into it here. Boston Bruins and the Philadelphia Flyers. I've been harping on how the Penguins have given up at least 3 goals in every single game so far this year. Well, the Flyers are basically the same. They gave up 2 goals against the Canucks to start the season, but since then, 6-4, 6-3, 4, 6, 5, and 4. They've had goaltending issues. They have defensive issues. On the flip side, the Boston Bruins have kind of struggled that as well. They've given up at least 3 goals in 3 straight games and 5 of their last 6. The only game they didn't was that 2-1 loss against the Utah Hockey Club, which offensively has been struggling a little bit as of late. And taking a look at the goalie matchup in this game here, as we have, there we go, Flyers and Samuel Erson's confirmed. Jeremy Swayman's expected. Erson a 2-2-1 record, a .355 save percentage, and an 3.55 goals allowed average, 8.72 save percentage. On the flip side, Swayman 3-3-1, 3.46 goals allowed average, a 900 save percentage there. But I do see a goalie edge here with Boston, and maybe this is simply Boston team total over, but I don't want to lay this type of number with the Boston Bruins, and I don't like the way they've looked offensively so far this season. Their team total over 3.5 minus 110 would be a lean for me. I know a lot of people are going to see the Bruins struggle and want to take a shot with the Flyers. And value-wise, there is value on the Flyers here in this game. I'm not going to talk anybody off of taking the dog in this spot. And maybe this is maybe it's a full game over. I can't believe this is 6. What were my projected numbers? 6.04. Yeah, okay, I guess that's about right. But I guess I'll lean towards maybe if you're backing the Flyers, maybe the Flyers team total over could be worth a look because Boston struggled offensively or defensively. My bad. So I can see them kind of struggling here. But the Flyers also have struggled defensively, so maybe that Flyers team total over takes out the worry of whether or not the Flyers will win the game and just asks them to score 3 goals. So I want to take a look at what that is real quick, and that's minus 115. I lean Flyers team total over 2.5 minus 115.
I think I'm going after 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going after 5 dogs today. Here's one of them. Give me the Flyers. Boston is a team that I don't necessarily have a lot of faith in. They had a good year last year, but I don't really feel like they are where they need to be this year. And I think they're only going to get worse and miss the playoffs kind of deal. Now, the Flyers are
trash.
I was going to say horse shit, but yeah, that works too. They are coming off of their back-to-back where they won against Minnesota, lost against Montreal. But honestly, I'm not really too worried about that. I'll take the Flyers here. I'll run with them. A little bit of plus money.
Sure. Yeah, that'd be the only way I would look.
Back to the chat.
Yep. Let's see. Bruins puck line. Wow, Pasta goal. That's minus 134 for a pasta goal. Jeez. Connecting anytime goal. I like the over here. Mitchkov goal. Marchand anytime goal. I see 5.5 was leaning under. 5.5. At 5.5, I'm betting the over. You give me 5.5, I'll take it. With the way these two teams are playing defense, I would only look towards an over. I'm seeing 5.5 minus 135 on my book though, so unfortunately, yeah. Draw. Flyers are scoring and Bruins are feeling good. Yeah. I'll go over with everyone else. Bruins going to light up Erson. I can see that. Torts is going to want the boys to show up here. Yeah, wanting them to show up and getting them to show up are two different things, though. So we'll keep going. We have a lot of 7 o'clock games.
We do.
Every single game is either 7 or 7:30, except for Sharks Kings is at 10 o'clock. So nice. If you're not betting that Sharks Kings game, nice early night here for the NHL. Let's keep going here. The Anaheim Ducks and the New York Islanders. The Islanders minus 235 favorite in this game. Total 6 in the spot. The Islanders are 3-3-2 so far this season. They're coming in off of a 6-3 loss against the Florida Panthers on the second half of a back-to-back after beating the Devils in overtime the previous night. On the flip side, the Anaheim Ducks are continuing their run through the metro area. They played the Rangers and the Devils, and they've lost both those games so far. And then they play Pittsburgh after this to end their little 4-game road trip to head back. And I think this game goes one of two ways. It's going to be 5-1, 6-1 Islanders, or it's going to go to overtime at like 1-1. I don't see an over like I usually do. And here's actually an interesting little number here. As bad as the Islanders have been offensively the last few years, they've gone 7 straight games against the Anaheim Ducks of scoring at least 4 goals. 6-1, 4-3, 6-3, 7-1, 4-3, 4-0, and a 6-5 loss. So the Islanders have had no problem scoring goals against this Anaheim Ducks team in the past. And I think this is one of the better offenses we've seen the Islanders have. And I have this game projected at a 6.3. So I think the over does have a little bit of merit here. I don't want to take overs fading Sorokin the way he's playing right now because he's been awesome this year. And he's starting to look like more of his Vezina self. I do have interest in maybe fading the Ducks defensively because they've given up 3.88 expected goals against on average this season. So defensively, they've not been good. And this Islanders team has taken care of business against this Ducks team in the past and put up goals against them. If only the Islanders team total over wasn't minus 120. Like I wanted plus money with that. So it's sometimes going to be a stay off spot for me. I think the Islanders take care of business in this one here. The more I look at it, it might be a puck line play, but I don't trust the Islanders to cover puck lines. So it's a no play here for me.
I am on the Ducks. I know they've been going through the West Coast trip and it hasn't been as good for them as they wanted to be, or sorry, East Coast trip. But I do not trust the Islanders as this big of a favorite in a game that can easily go to overtime and be a pick'em at that point.
Mm-hmm.
That's the way I see it. If the Islanders are going to win, I strongly believe this is an overtime game. Just because the Islanders have just been big overtime team.
They've gone to overtime 4 of their 8 games so far.
Exactly. The thing is, I'm just going to take the Ducks outright. At plus, I think I got 205. 215. I got 215 on them. Let's have a quack and good night.
Let's not.
Quack, quack, quack.
Let's see. Isles at minus 225. What if they what right do they have to be that big of favorites?
They don't.
Fair. So, draw. Soroka has never lost to the Ducks. Brock Nelson anytime goal. Ducks have weapons. They are underrated. Look who they've played. Yeah. Islanders team total over in the draw. Yep. Ducks plus 1.5. Do the Isles ever cover puck lines? They have covered a puck line once this year. They won 6-2 against the they won 6-2 against the Avalanche. Brain fart.
Oh, that's right, because I had the Avalanche puck line in that game.
Yeah, that was the only time they've covered a puck line. That's why I said I don't trust them to cover puck lines. Ducks got up for the Rangers, and then they got slapped down by the Devils. Yep. But we'll move on. We have the Seattle Kraken and the Montreal Canadiens here. The Kraken now minus 180 on the road. Jeez. Total of 6 in this game. Both these teams are 4-4-1 heading into this one here. Montreal on back-to-back wins. They beat St. Louis 5-2. They beat Philly 4-3. And on the flip side, Seattle are on 3 straight losses. They lost to Colorado 3-2. They lost in overtime to Winnipeg, and they lost to the Carolina Hurricanes. 3 losses against 3 good teams, though. So the Kraken, when they step up in competition, the Kraken struggle. Their losses this year are to Carolina, Winnipeg, Colorado, Dallas. Their wins are against Calgary, Philadelphia, Nashville, and Minnesota. So, and I mean, at this number, I can only look Canadians. I definitely do not want to, as much as I like this Kraken team, I don't want to be laying this type of number on the road with them. So this would be Montreal at plus 145 or nothing for me. And I think it's just going to end up being nothing at the moment.
I'm on the Habs. It's another one of my dogs that I like tonight. I don't trust Seattle as this big of a road favorite. So that's kind of like one of my bigger things on this. I just don't trust them here. And Montreal's been a scrappy team that can do it at home. They're 4-4-1 this year. They're not bad, and they've won 2 straight games. So this has been a team that has been looking good as of late. I want to take a little bit of plus money shot with the Montreal Canadiens.
Fair. Yeah, I just saw for that Boston-Philadelphia game that Jonas Korpisalo is confirmed in net for tonight. So I went and wanted to see what the Philadelphia team total was still. And everything's frozen now. So that's fun.
Nice.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to take the Philly team total over with Korpisalo in net, but they're probably going to move that to 2.5 minus 135 now.
Thanks.
Let's see. Then we'll move on to the next one. Now, they only cover puck lines as dogs in. Yeah. I like the Habs or draw. Over 6. Over and lean Montreal. Habs money line. Fair. Let's head into this matchup here where I have doubled up on this game. We have Pittsburgh Penguins and Minnesota Wild in this one. By the way, the goalies for the last game, Grubauer's unconfirmed. Samuel Montembeault is confirmed in that game here. Minnesota Wild and Pittsburgh Penguins. Joel Blomqvist is likely. He is 2-3 with a 3.33 goals allowed average and .911 save percentage. In net for the Minnesota Wild, Marc-Andre Fleury, 1-0-1 with a 5.54 goals allowed average and a .900 save percentage. And we have the Minnesota Wild. They're coming in off of their first regulation loss of the year. They lost 7-5 to the Philadelphia Flyers as they're continuing their they're continuing their road trip here that started in Winnipeg and is finishing tonight against Pittsburgh. So maybe this is a bad spot for the Minnesota Wild, but they're coming off of their first loss of the year, so maybe not. That road trip started on October the 13th. They went through Winnipeg, St. Louis, Columbus, Florida, Tampa Bay, Philly, and they're ending in Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh's coming back from a 4-game road trip, though, so it's not like they're in a good spot either. They've lost 5 games in a row in the Pittsburgh Penguins, which is so much fun to watch this team continuously lose and lose and lose some more. They have still given up at least 3 goals in every single game so far this year. They've given up 4 or more in 6 straight games. And I've been blindly betting team total overs against them, and I've been blindly betting overs with them as well. So that's exactly where I'm going here in this spot, because I do like the over a little bit more, knowing Marc-Andre Fleury is in net, and I know this is his last game in Pittsburgh in his career. He's still, if it was Zach Greinke's last game in Kansas City last year or whatever, we were still going to bet the over because he's bad and washed. Maybe he's a little bit more motivated, but at this point, I'm still going to take overs here. Minnesota Wild, team total over 3.5 plus 120. Full game over 6.5, even money for me. I'll
mention something with Zach Greinke in a minute. I'm on the Minnesota Wild puck line. Hearing Marc-Andre Fleury does not make me feel good about it. Although he is coming off of a practice with a local high school team, so in Pittsburgh, so that's kind of fun. But I am taking the Wild. I'm taking their puck line. It's my biggest plus money, I believe, of the day. Plus, no, it's not the biggest plus money because I have the Ducks. But it's one of my bigger plus monies of the day. This has been a Wild team that's played some really good hockey to start the year. I don't know if I necessarily see it happening the rest of the year like as good, but they've been playing well as of late, so I'm going to keep backing them all. They're still hot.
Yeah, the Wild have been a team that I liked heading into the year that I have not backed enough so far this season. By the way, Marc-Andre Fleury, if you're wondering, his career against Pittsburgh, he's 5-4 with a 305 goals allowed average and a 906 save percentage. He has played 4 of those starts in Pittsburgh. So,
real quick, because I mentioned Zach Greinke, interesting stat with him. He has more hits in the World Series than Aaron Judge. Anyways, Zach Greinke has 2 hits in the World Series. Aaron Judge has 1.
Oh, in his World Series career.
In his World Series career.
Gotcha.
But back to the chat, Nick, for some more hockey talk for you.
Yep. And then the next game that I did double up on as well. Let's see. Shane Wright, anytime goal. He's still mad. Seattle may have very well went out partying last night. Could be. Wild will probably play Flower. Yep. Crosby will light him up. Wild money puck line and money line over 6. Pens versus Flowers and auto bet. Wild team total over 3.5. Love it. How many cups does Fleury have? I think he has 3. I think he does. See, Crosby 2 points. Fleury's last game in Pittsburgh. Yep, I think he might have 2 cups. Yeah, Fleury. Wish he was still a Pen after tonight. I wouldn't wish I was a Penguin. That team is going through a rebuild in a minute. Flower 2 cups. Murray was the starter in 2017. Pens puck line. There you go. We'll go on to the second to last game of the night. This is one I have bets. We have the New York Rangers and the Washington Capitals. The Rangers are coming in off their first, or no, not their first regulation loss of the season. They beat the Ducks 2-1 in their last game. They're 6-1-1 to start the year. They're perfect 4-0 away from Madison Square Garden. The Washington Capitals, they just had their 5-game winning streak snapped with a 3-0 loss against the Tampa Bay Lightning. Previous to that, they had won 5 games in a row against Philly, New Jersey, Dallas, and Vegas. So the head-to-head matchup between these two teams, the Rangers have won 5 in a row. The last 4 were in the playoffs last year when they swept them. They've won 8 of the last 10 as well. Looking at the goaltenders in this one here, we have Logan Thompson and Igor Shesterkin. Shesterkin 4-1-1 with a 2.59 goals allowed, average of 926 save percentage, and a shutout. Logan Thompson's been perfect this year, 3-0, a 3.26 goals allowed average, and an 884 save percentage. So he's below average on the save percentage there. Kind of a tricky spot here for Logan Thompson, though. When you look at their advanced analytics, the Rangers have the best offense in all of hockey. So far this season, they have averaged 4.69 or 4.7 expected goals per game offensively. And they've had at least 3.45 in every single game so far this year, expected goals wise. I think this is a spot where they light up the Capitals. They had a little bit of a struggle win there against the Ducks. They lost against the Panthers. They finally hit the road again where they've played their best hockey this year because on the road this year, they beat Pittsburgh 6-0. They beat the Red Wings 5-2. They beat the Maple Leafs 4-1, and they beat the Canadiens 7-2. They have no problem playing away from Madison Square Garden here. And when it comes to the Washington Capitals, I'm glad they got off to this good start because now there'll be plenty of value betting against them here going forward a little bit. I think they've overachieved a little bit. I think they were playing a little bit over their heads here, the Washington Capitals. I'm not buying into them that they're legit, that they're a real team this year, and they're going to be a playoff contender and things like that. I'm not buying into that with the Washington Capitals here. I think this is one where the Rangers go and take them behind the woodshed. I'm on the Rangers -1 and +107. I'm on the Rangers team total over 3.5 at +120.
I'm going to stay away from this one. And I'll attack the next game with you-know-who. I'm happy with my card for today. I didn't feel like I needed to go after this one. I was very close to betting Washington. I'm going to end up keeping them off my cards. So that being said, they'll end up winning this game 4-1 or something. But I'm going to pass on this one.
Yeah, and exactly what that line I thought it was going to be. The Flyers line reopened up. They're now +140 underdogs. The total is 6.5. Now basically close to just towards the over. Pick them. And the team total is 2.5 at -135. No longer at -115. So maybe that's where I take a shot now at Boston with the line dropping like that. But I'm not going to do that.
Sounds good.
Let's see. Rangers money line. Yep. Fleury has 3 confirmed. There you go. Rangers team total over 3.5. Like Nick's free pick video. Yes. Yep. Fleury was injured in 2017. If that counts, it does count because he still has a ring. Bruins, Wild, Rangers money line parlay. Interesting. Under in Capitals money line playoff revenge. I do not care about playoff revenge with this matchup just because the Capitals are just they're going to get overpowered tonight. Rangers puck line. Yep. Playoff revenge doesn't seem to be a thing this year. Bruins beat the Leafs and Florida beat the Bruins both games. Yep. And the Panthers beat the Rangers. That was playoff revenge from last year too. Ducks +1.5, Kraken over 6, Wild over 6, Rangers puck line. There you go. Ovechkin anytime goal. I would take the Rangers -1.5 over the Caps +1.5. Well, yeah, because the Caps +1.5 is -200. I wouldn't take that either. We'll head to the final game of the night. I know Tim loves this game here. We have the San Jose Sharks and the LA Kings. The Kings -270 favorites with a total of 6 in this one here. Let's take a look at the goaltending matchup here. I believe we had Blackwood last night. So that's going to lead us to Vitek Vanacek tonight versus Darcy Kemper. Wow, what a shit goaltending matchup. Vitek Vanacek 0-4-0 with a 4 goals allowed average and an 869 save percentage. Darcy Kemper 2-0-2 with a 629 goals allowed average and an 897 save percentage. Both have been terrible. The Kings have won 4 of their last 5 games, though. That's not what I was expecting out of this Kings team. They beat the San Jose Sharks team 3-2, but it was mainly they got off to a good start in the first period, led 3-0, and then did nothing worse after that. The Sharks are coming off their first win of the year on an overtime game. I'm not going to lay the number with the Kings here in this spot. However, I'm not taking the Sharks here either. And call me boring. Cool. I have no interest in backing the Sharks in this game. I would only look towards the Kings, maybe a team total over. With Vanacek in net, I do not trust. So it's just a lean in that direction. The team total over for the Kings is a little expensive, -135 for over 3.5. Maybe if you wait a few minutes into the first period, you can get that 3.5 closer towards the pick'em range. That's probably, I think, the better way to do it would be wait to bet them live. Maybe if the Sharks score first, you live bet the Kings then. But for me, I'm not getting involved with this one.
Sign me up for some Sharks. We got the win last night. Yeah, I know it was in overtime. Yeah, I know it was a big comeback and everything. I'm just gonna keep riding with them Sharkies. And I feel like at the end of the year, I still have a shot to be profitable betting the Sharks a bunch. +240 at home. Coming back after it. I think the Sharks teams has life tonight. So we'll sign up for them. +240. Can we also say that the Kings don't deserve to be -270 on the road?
I can agree with that statement.
Last time these two teams played, I believe it was in LA. It was in LA.
It was the home opener after the long road trip for the Kings.
And they won 3-2.
They led after the first period, 3-0. So if I'm betting this game, maybe it would be a Kings first period puck line because the Sharks, even last night, they lost the first period. The Sharks in the first period have been terrible this year. The only time they had a good first period was the only time I bet them to win the first period, and that was against the Blues with Macklin Celebrini in the lineup.
Mm-hmm.
Who's still out.
Give me the Sharks.
Fair.
Give me the Sharks. They snapped their 9-game losing streak, which the Sharks became the first team in NHL history to have back-to-back years start with at least 9-game losing streaks.
Wow, that's pretty bad. Now, don't get me wrong. I'll be sitting back rooting for the Sharks in this game with my Kings under point total and the Kings to miss the playoffs. So I have no problem rooting for the Sharks in this game. I'm just not betting them.
That's fair. So Chanik?
Yep. Sharks plus 1.5. Sharks coming off their first win. Sharks gonna score and most likely win. Might just take the over. If that's the case, Sharks team total over is probably a decent number too. Toffoli anytime goal and assist. Eklund assist. Zetterlund anytime goal. There you go. Ex-Capital goalies. Wonderful matchup. Yeah. Disgusting. Kemper and Vanacek. Sharks did the same thing last year and won 3 straight after their first win. All right. I'm rooting Sharks tonight. Yeah. Kings first period. Sharks full game plus 1.5 plus 475. Love it.
I love it. Beautiful.
What about Kings first period, full game draw, double result?
I like it.
I think the Sharks come out hot tonight now that they have confidence, maybe. I hope the Kings miss the playoffs, too. They are a boring team. Sharks have been getting steamrolled in the first period. They absolutely have. But that is everything for today's card, Tim.
Yep.
So let me post in the chat the CapperTek.
CapperTek. Yep.
And then we'll head out here.
Yep. All my plays are up there. I will probably have some college football up there later on today, because we'll probably sit down and cap the entire college football card after we're done here. But and NFL will be up there soon too. But that is everything for today. Make sure you guys check it out. Yeah, Shark Tank. Check out all links in the description below, and we'll see you guys in the next one. Gotta find the outro. Oh, you put it all the way up top.
Yeah,
we'll see you later.
Top, yeah.